guys, it's Jessie and welcome back to my channel and welcome to the intro for my 2022 Pan That Palette project. So if you were on my channel last year, you know I did a Pan That Palette. I was panning the Tommy Burr face palette, that went pretty successfully, and I was panning the Urban Decay Naked 3, which went less successfully. But this year I'm going to be panning two different eyeshadow palettes and I really hope you'll join me on this little journey. I think I've been really good in the way I've picked out these two palettes. I think they're challenging enough without being so difficult that we won't have any progress each month. So I've got two eyeshadow palettes here to share with you. I'm also going to be doing this project a little bit differently this year, in which I'm going to be randomly generating a shade from each of these palettes to work on each month and kind of focus in on. I'm also going to be recording all of my uses from the start, so it's definitely going to be more organised than last year. But yeah, without further ado, I just think I'm going to get straight into it and share with you guys the products that I've chosen for my 2022 Pan That Palette. So the first one is this one. It is the Be Obsessed palette from Makeup Obsession. This is the oldest palette in my collection now because I've just filmed the finale to my Pan That palette and this is getting decluttered like later today, and this is now officially my oldest palette in my collection. It's not ridiculously old. I got it in July 2019, so it is 2.5 years old now, so I mean not ridiculous, but like still an older palette. And this is what it looks like on the inside. There is a lot of progress in here already. As you can see, we do already have 5 pans in here, which is half the palette, which is great. There's also a lot of dips going on, lots of shades kind of nearly used up too. So I will talk you through them one by one. They are also magnetic and can be popped out, which I love. So when I get more way through this palette, I can pop them into like singles palettes and stuff like that. So the first shade we have in here is Essential. It's really difficult to read because it's like white writing on glitter. But we have the shade Essential, and that is just this kind of matte cream colour. This is going to be a really nice lid setting shade. And I also forgot to mention, my goal for this palette is to use it up entirely. So use up as many shades as possible, pan and then finish. So this is the shade Essential. I definitely think I can use this up pretty soon. Just going to be working on it as a lid setting shade. Then next up we have the shade Fixate, which is this white icy shimmery colour. This is going to be a really nice inner corner shade. It just looks like this. It's very light, but it is just very sparkly, very nice in the corner. We do already have a little bit of a dip in here. I don't know how well you can tell, but there is a little bit of a dip in there, which is good. That will give us some progress. Then we have the shade Love. This is probably one of the most untouched shades. I think this has probably only been swatched, maybe used once or twice. It's just this kind of plummy pinky colour. I think this is going to be really fun to use. Then we have the shade Passion. This has got a bit more of a dip in it. This is what Passion looks like here, just kind of like a burnt red colour. I think we're pretty close to pan. You can see all of the rings in there, so I reckon that's probably only about 5 uses away from pan, maybe even less. Then we have the shade Drive. This is the shade Drive here. Again, another big pan in here. I definitely think I could use this up this year. It's just kind of like a mauvey mid-toned colour. Then I have the shade Must. I'm not going to pull Must out of the pan because it just broke a little bit. So that is what Must looks like there. I definitely will repress that one. So again, that should go pretty quickly. It's just a kind of light neutral orangey shade. I'm not going to pull these pans out anymore because I don't want anything to break. Plus they're kind of tricky to get out. Then we have this shade here, which is Aspire. We've got a little pan in there from my A to Z eyeshadow project pan last year. I don't know how well you can see. It's just kind of on this side here. Then we have the shade Craze, which is this gold colour. This is probably going to be one of the most difficult because it's not super sparkly, so I don't love to use it. That's what it looks like there. Sorry, I've just got another swatch underneath here, so they're pretty similar in tones. But yeah, that's what it looks like there. I mean, it's not unsparkly, so I guess with a glitter glue we can see how it performs, but yeah, we'll have to wait and see with that one. Then we've got the shade Fan here, another big pan in there. That shouldn't be too hard to use up. And then we've got the shade Avid, which is pretty untouched at the end here. So yeah, my goal for this is to hit pan and then use up in every single shade. I don't think that should be too hard. Then my second Pan That palette for this year is going to be the Abh Riviera Palette. This is one of my oldest palettes. It's my 5th oldest palette. I got this in July of 2020, so a year later than the Be Obsessed with one, and this is what she looks like now. We also already have 4 pans in here. So we have the shade Sails, which has got a pretty big dip in it, plus it's just a matte white, so I can set my lids with that easily. We've got Yacht, which has got a big pan in it already. Seychelles, which has got a tiny dip. It's just a very bright blue colour. We've got Palermo, which is a pink shimmer, no dip in there. Seaside, no dip either, that's kind of like a grey toned blue. Then we've got Inheritance, which has got a little bit of dip, the nice shimmery yellow. And then we've got Mediterranean, which is a bit of a kind of purpley toned blue, and that one's got no dip in there too. Then along here we've got Estate, already got pan in there. Cabana, which is a gorgeous mustard yellow colour, but still no progress really in there, you can't even see a dip. Coastline has got a big pan. Bahamas has got a slight dip, but not much, this neon pink. Monte Carlo, this pink here, has got a pan. Cairns also doesn't have any progress, it's this purple, along with Palm, which also doesn't have very much progress at all. So this is the Abh Riviera palette. I've chosen this one because I think ABH shades are reasonably easy to hit pan on, especially their mattes. I don't find it too difficult. As you can see here, I've already hit a lot of natural pan in this project. This one was the only one that was in my pan as eyeshadows this year, and I really enjoy a lot of these shades. So I definitely think these kind of shimmers, especially the three kind of blue tone shades, will be the hardest for me to hit pan in, but I'm very excited to try and give it a go, and I just want to see how far I can get with this palette. So my goals for this is to hit pan in every shade. I do think I should be able to do that in a year. I know I'm already kind of starting at an advantage with 4 pans, so I've only actually got to hit pan in 10 shades. So yeah, I think I should do pretty well with this. But now I'm just going to randomly generate a number from each of these palettes to work on. So I'm going to start with the Makeup Obsession one. This I'm going to be generating any of the shades, it doesn't matter if they've got pan or not. So I'm going to be picking a number from 1 through 10. So that's going to be number 4, which is this shade here. So it is Passion here, which has already got a pretty good dip in there. So if I just kind of swatch that for you guys, that is what Passion looks like there. Sorry for the poor swatch, but it's just a nice pigmented red shade. I think that's really pretty. This is what it's looking like in the pan there. I don't want to knock must out, but that's what it's looking like in the pan there. Definitely one with a very big dip. So I'm very confident that we should have some good progress on that one and should definitely be able to pan it. That's going to be my goal for that one, is to hit pan, and then obviously afterwards my goal will be to use it all up, but for now that is just the goal there. Then for my Abh Riviera palette, I'm going to pick numbers 1 through 10 as again, and that is number 3. So 1, 2, 3 is Seychelles. That's going to be interesting. Ignore the bad lighting. I'm only realising now, editing this back, I picked the wrong shade. So instead of skipping the pan in Yacht, I just went to the 3rd shade in the palette, when realistically it should have been the 4th shade, because I'm not counting the ones I've already got pan in. So I should actually be panning Palermo, which is the pink shade in there, not Seychelles, the blue shade. So yeah, I will be working on Palermo because that's the one I actually picked out. Ignore me talking about Seychelles, but sorry. The goal for that obviously will also be to hit pan. I'm still going to continue to use the rest of the palette, probably will hit pan in like Sales. Before I hit pan in Seychelles, I'm not going to let it kind of stop me from using other shades, but I will just kind of try and focus in on that one. Like if I'm like, oh, I need to use a blue shade, it will be that one over these two. So I doubt these two will have very much use at all, just whilst I'm focusing on Seychelles. So yeah, that's going to be super interesting. I'm really excited, and now I just can't wait to get started with this Pan That Palette series. So yeah, I really hope you guys enjoyed this intro. If you guys want to follow along with this journey, don't forget to subscribe and turn the bell to be notified every time I post a new video. If you want to watch one of my other videos, there'll be 2 on the screen now to pick from, as well as a load linked up in the cards from earlier. So yeah, thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye!